Strand. Happy to weave that into your mantle.
That was one of the most complicated things we've ever collectively assembled.
I hope it wasn't too much.
Not at all. The only tough part was Don, hovering the entire time. He's enthralled with this device.
Oh, well,
I'm teasing you, Seth. I'm not sure if you'll still be my apprentice after all this, but I will tease you.
No more learning to smith.
Now, I'm not saying that. We just need to figure out what comes next together. Which brings me to the question of the hour. You were already a Norian. Why did you want to be my apprentice anyway? Oh, that makes so much more sense. You could have just told me.
That's a cultural thing for you, isn't it?
Oh, you know. Yes. Very much so. But yes, Sola. I'm sorry. I was afraid if you dug too hard into my past, you might learn about the Norians.
And they don't like people digging.
No, they truly don't. That is your answer, though.
And this is your intricate doodad. I cannot wait to see what it does.
This aerolift should be perfect, Brynn.
Right. This was where the farmer Lane mentioned was selling his crops. I should look around. Done.
That's all we needed. The others have been helping me with a little project on the side. A surprise for you.
No hints.
You'll see.
What has Sev been building? What's all this, big guy?
The culmination of all our efforts, Brynn.
He wanted it to be a surprise.
Consider me impressed. But what exactly does it do?
He hasn't told you?
As Casman said, I wanted it to be a surprise.
Sev, we all do better work with context. This is something you're going to need to get used to.
Yeah. You're a weaver now. I heard you say so yourself.
It's the culmination of an Orion dream. But unlike them, I'm not going to use it to put a nation in a stranglehold. No. I'm going to change the weather. For you.
For me?
Yes. It will take some resources, so let's be judicious, but yes. We can change the weather before your expeditions.
Well, this is incredible. What's involved with actually making it happen?
Well, it's not simple for me. But for you, I'll keep it simple. If we want to make a change before you leave, we can do it as part of the preparation. The aerolifts are all connected, and the device we created will let me give them let's call it a shove, for a day or so.
We've run some limited tests, and everything holds up. It's really rather ingenious.
And we'll give you quite the edge. Imagine tossing a drought when a frost creature is hunting.
It can affect my asthma, too, yes?
Yes, it can. What we don't know is what effect it can have on the source directly. Let me run some more tests. But, in the meantime, the Enclave's our sandbox now. Just ask if you want me to change things.
You are hardly in any position to make lofty demands. The Council convened and unanimously stripped you of your role. You no longer hold the privileges of the Eye.
And how quickly did you convene that council? You hardly waited for my daughter's body to cool.
She is dead because of you. Because of your reckless behavior and deception, no less.
Harun, how dare you? Every decision I've made, every action I've taken has been for her protection.
Abandoning her at the Grand Gate was for her protection. We all saw you on the scry. And that is Khan Arteme to you, Kenrick.
Is this a bad time?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
No. You're more than welcome at Cassidon's Hold.
I came to offer my condolences. To both of you.
Oh. Thank you.
She was nothing short of brilliant. Everyone in our Weaver band could see it. She dedicated her life to reclaiming lost knowledge of the Arcs. The world is better for it.
She was exceptional. It's hard to imagine the Enclave will ever recover from this loss.
Then why are you so opposed to giving her the funeral she deserves?
With the Surgeborn swarming Denevron, we can't risk a trip to the Hallowpire Rise.
For generations, every Stanild has received the right of ashes upon death. Isla will not be the exception to this.
Could I perform the rite on your behalf?
You? Don't tell me you're a Hallowpire priestess on top of being a righteous pain in my ass.
Skies, do you want a funeral or not? She's our best option.
Isla saved my life. I want to help you honor her death.
I suppose you do owe her that. Fine. For the rite of ashes, you need to burn an object that was sacred to the deceased upon the High Pyre. As you collect the ashes, you must read a rite aloud to thank the flames for bringing the deceased to rest.
Do you have an object that was sacred to Isla?
Isla's most prized possessions aren't in Cassidon's hold. She had a secret refuge in Dredger's Mire. You're sure to find something. She was always sneaking away at night to work there.
You knew she was sneaking out of Cassidon's hold.
I knew my daughter better than she realized. Return to me with the ashes.
Thank you, Brynn.
You look like you've got something on your mind, Sev.
Struggling a little, perhaps. I find myself torn.
Between Casmin stews and down spiced pork? Same.
Pork. Stew gets in my fur. That aside, I find myself both wanting to tear down the Norians and redeem them. Surely not everything they did was self-serving politics. There had to be some craft or artistry behind it.
That's the part of Norian-ness that appeals to you?
Recently I found records. Experiments to improve flow rates across the tapestry.
Better pipes.
Pretty much. The team was working on it right around the time the surge hit.
Any idea where?
Not too far from here. Odd they'd set up in a swamp, but perhaps it was a stress test.
We're going to have to fix the Enclave eventually. Better pipes can't hurt. I'll check it out.
You are tireless, Brynn.
I wouldn't say tireless. Just responsible. That is what a point does.
You're right. But we all notice how hard you work. I know what it feels like to work without praise. Feels good to shine a little sun on your achievements.
This is the Norian site, sir.
Yes. They were working out of that cave.
Sheltered, yet deadly. Probably wasn't that way before the surge. Shipping crates, marked Project Junction 4X9.
Sounds familiar. I'll look into it.
Abandoned in a hurry.
Anyone who survived the tapestry overloading probably ran for the nearest loom gate.
See what we've got here. These all seem to be speeches that the Eye delivered. These are dated 40 years ago, but I could still imagine him saying all of these things today. This cipher looks familiar. I'll need to get these back to Lane. That might be Isla's secret refuge. It's actually not too far from Lucia's workshop. Isla dedicated her life to restoring the Arcs. Darm's right. We will need to continue this. For now, what might she consider safe for the right? A letter from the Axel. I should take it back to her. A toy Archon. That's sweet. Darm, do you think this could work for the Rite of Ashes?
It's perfect.
Huh. Isla also had a copy of On the Workings of Archons, marked with annotations, just like Lucia's.
Could be useful.
Wait, I'm losing you.
You hear me better now?
Yeah. Weird. The scry was cutting out.
Strange. At any rate, the book could be useful. Once you've completed the ritual, I'll take a look.
About our Norian findings, would you forgive an observation before we start?
Sure. What's up?
I walked up to the Axle and just asked her. And she answered. Reasonably happy to help. Aram could get used to this.
And what did the combination of your excellent minds discover?
That marking you found, for Junction 4X9, it's a location code. The Norians and Enclave had a system to track the flow of raw magic. The Khan and I did some archival digging, and we know where it's located.
You wanted to find something practical. This sounds like it counts.
Oh, Brynn, yes. I needed this. Something skillfully wrought and worthy of study. Even uncovering how they balanced the pressure would take years. Amazing.
Since you know where this Junction X... whatever is, am I heading there?
Not just yet. I don't want to waste your time.
Oh?
My working theory is that they used that junction to rebalance the flow of raw magic to their worksite.
To what end?
If they wanted to test new piping technology, they'd need contents for the pipe. Water wouldn't behave like raw magic does. Compression and so on. Major junctions had valves that changed the pressures and flow, but took specialized tools to operate.
How specialized, exactly?
They were Norians. Why use a wrench when you can make a special secret wrench?
A wrench hunt, then. Sounds like a trick they play on junior artisans.
I doubt we'll just find one lying around. We did, however, find the designs.
I bet Solo's already heating up the forge.
Yes. I wish they didn't use such exotic alloys, but magical flow control requires them.
It's okay, Sev. I'm on it. Arcane smithing, a compendium on vented metalwork. Solo will love this. I'll need to place the toy ark on the high pyre. Lane believes that a priest could have been Oria's father. I'd better look around. Sad to to burn such a sweet toy. Now to collect the ashes. Found a diary belonging to the priest.
Anything of note written inside?
From a quick skim, it details his vow to pledge himself to the first flame. And only the first flame.
Ah, I see.
I'll look elsewhere. Though the flame abates and the ash grows cold, let she who worshipped you rest in eternal warmth.
Beautiful, Brynn.
I'm sure I will.
There it is again. The scry is cutting in and out. Dom? Aurea?
We're... Can you hear me now?
You're back.
While you bring the ashes to Cassidon's hold, I'll analyze the scry. Something strange is afoot.
Takes you back, doesn't it? Just like when we first arrived, trying to get things working, unaware there's a whole twist of piping under our feet.
One day we're just trying to get a loom gate functional.
And the next, we're going to have to face the heart of the Enclave and figure out how to fix this damned place.
If anyone can do it, it's Brynn.
Oh, of course you can. Anyway, enough of that. Do we need to send a team?
No. The valves were designed to be worked easily, even by one person. All it should take is a steady eye and a strong arm.
Asher strong? Or do I need to channel my inner big burly Ram?
You should be fine. That said, I do think all of you would look better with tusks.
You're entitled to your incorrect opinion.
Ha! So, feel up to some junction hunting, Brynn.
So much safer than my usual quarry. Less mobile, too.
could always use more frost magic.
You're going to speak to the Talon?
I don't expect to get much out of it, but yes.
Be careful. Clearly the Talon was able to manipulate Kenrick. And while I know you're not the idiot he is, speaking to that thing is risky.
I just have to find out what I can. If the Talon has any insight that can help us.
It's a risk worth taking, I know. Just don't reveal anything in the process.
I performed the rite, and I brought you the ashes.
Thank you, Brynn. Isla admired you. She would be honored that you did this for her.
It's not how she would have wanted things. I should have been there.
Enough! I know you're grieving. We all are. But you are no longer the Eye, and this disrespectful conduct ends now. You owe Brynn a thank you, and an apology for that matter, and probably a great deal more than that. Not only has she gone out of her way to perform the rite for your daughter, but she saved us all from certain death at the Grand Gate too. None of which she would ever have had to do if it weren't for your...
For my actions! I know! I know! It's all my fault. I should have been there. Not at the temple. At the Grand Gate. I should have stayed. The way she looked at me when I left her there. I'll never forget it. I could fill a city with my mistakes. I should have supported her work. I should never have lied to her. My regrets will drown me.
Maybe they should.
Maybe they should.
My mother used to say, you can drown in your grief, or learn to swim in it. It is unfair that you lost a child, no matter the circumstances. I am so sorry that happened to you. But now you have a choice. You can spend the rest of your days counting the ways you failed your daughter. Or you can dedicate every breath you have left to her.
How?
Just do one small thing a day that would make her proud to call you her father. Start by helping us finish the work you wish you had supported in her life.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. If you'll excuse me. But there is one thing. The Ark in your camp, the one she wanted to restore, it's called the Ark of Verdance. An enchantress named Lucia de Crassus built it.
Lucia.
Consider it a thank you for what you've done.
You deserved better from him, but that was probably all he's capable of. Come to think of it, we all deserved better from him.
What will you do now?
Take care of my people. Someone needs to. And you? You're going to try to fix the arcs.
The Ark we followed through the Veil. We have no idea what it was doing outside the Enclave in the first place. Or even how it got us in here. If we're ever going to stand a chance of leaving, or bringing down the Veil, we need to find out more.
I wish I could help, but arcs were Isla's expertise, not mine. Still, I agree. That arc allowed you to pass safely through the tangles, where Surgeborn go to regenerate. If you're going to try to fix it, consider me heavily invested in your progress.
It's too great an advantage to ignore. I'll keep you updated.
sword and sword.
Dom, the interference I'm experiencing during expeditions is concerning. Any idea what's going on with the scry?
Not yet. The interference is certainly strange, but I'll need more time to analyze it before drawing any conclusions.
As long as it doesn't give out on us completely in the meantime.
However, I have taken a look at the Spindle's copy of the workings of Archons, and thankfully, writing is far more legible than Lucia's. And her notes are significantly less paranoid at that.
About that, Kenrick Stanold told me that Lucia wasn't just tinkering with the arc we followed through the Veil. She built it. The Ark of Verdance.
That is quite the revelation. What was it for?
That was all Kenrick could tell me. Or wanted to tell me. But Sev mentioned that Kenrick had been feeding Isla information about a failsafe for the Source. Could the Ark of Verdance be the fix she was working on without realizing it?
Yes. Yes! That could be it. Genius, Brynn! On my side, I dug into her notes. She was working on a way to fully restore our Ark for us. She was so close to a schematic, intricate, elaborate, masterful. And I finished it. Solar has the final design ready for you. Essentially, we'll be creating a power core for the Ark. Most notably, we'll need a special part, a bar of shaped coral. This is the final key for an Ark to be functional on its own without a Weaver channeling magic into it.
If we had built a power core earlier, could her death have been prevented?
She only made this discovery in the final days of her life, through researching all the Ark parts we had supplied her. Her research even theorizes that using one's own magic to power an Ark for brief amounts of time could result in death.
So she knew she was going to die at the Grand Gate.
She knew exactly what would happen, and did it anyway.
We can't let it be in vain. So, then the Ark of Verdance is our failsafe. Your design will get it running. Where can I find the shaped coral?
She suspected it was kept in the Archon's hearth, stored near natural coral deposits for its regenerative properties.
The Archon's hearth once more. Wish Isla was here to guide me.
I could assist in her absence.
What the?
Brynn, what's...
Aurea, the scry has been compromised by the Surgeborn. Stay off it.
Compromised is such a strong word. I just want to talk. my region, after all.
Like I would tell you.
Whatever plan you've concocted, it would be better if we worked together.
You murdered my friend.
Technically, I didn't touch her. It isn't my fault she lacked the stamina to follow through on what she started.
There's a lot of coral here. I must be getting close to where the Enclave stored shaped bars. Will the Surgeborn know the plan when I pick it up? I guess that's a risk I need to take.
Bar-shaped coral. You and I have such similar taste in treasure. Whatever you're planning to do with that is nothing compared to what we could accomplish if we put our minds together.
I can manage well enough on my own.
You could do so much more than manage.
The Surgeborn in the Howling Jail somehow has access to the scry.
We know. I can feel it in there with me. It's not pleasant. We need to do something fast.
The good news is, as far as we can tell, it only has access when you're in the underworks. At most, it seems to cause interference when you're above ground. We don't think it can listen in.
Until we can block its presence, best to keep use of the scry to a minimum.
All right. How are we going to fix this?
The reason Aurea can sense the Surgeborn presence on the scry is likely because it's wielding magic to communicate. The same way Aurea's mantle pulls magic from the air to contact you. However, unlike Aurea, the Surgeborn can't pull magic from the air around it. Otherwise, it would be talking to you all the time.
But it can only reach me when I'm underground.
Where the tangles are most dense. We need to cut off its access to raw magic.
That's where the spindle comes in. Thanks to her, we finally have the missing piece to get our escort here running.
It was a failsafe in the case that the source needed to be repaired. The Arc of Verdance will create a safe bubble against the tangles, which would be the natural consequence of any failure of the source.
Just like it did with the Veil.
Exactly. But without the crushing weight that caused it to fail.
So, the plan. We get the Ark to the source, it stabilizes the Enclave.
Or at the very least, starts the process.
If the Herald waiting down there doesn't destroy it first. I'll need to take it down, if this plan is going to work.
That sounds dangerous.
It might be a risk worth taking.
We have to. The Enclave is overflowing with raw magic, and this source is clearly the root of the problem. Too many tangles have led to the floods. They allow the Surgeborn to communicate and infect our enchantments. Without the source under control, we will never reclaim the Enclave.
Then that's our plan. We build a power core, then we speak to the Axle.
I'll join you at Cassidon's Hold.
And with this power core, we can fix our Arc of Verdance. I think this is what they call a full circle moment.
Huh. Lately, I feel like I've been running in circles.
Hey, I know things look bleak, but this is a win. Don't let the Talon rob you of it. You're finishing her work, after all.
You're right.
I always am. Now, I think you've got a meeting with the Axle.
Khan Artime, my Weaver Band has repaired the Ark we followed through the Veil and discovered its true purpose.
To nullify the tangles at the source so it can be repaired.
Its anti-magic properties are why we were able to follow it through the Veil in the first place.
I see.
If we could get it to the source, we believe it could stabilize the Enclave.
Except the Grand Gate was broken when the Ark pushed the Herald back through it.
Surely there must be another way to reach the source.
Now that it's repaired, couldn't this Ark be used to leave the Enclave the way you came?
In theory, sure.
What are you saying, Khan Artime?
It's time for someone to protect my people. I need to use that Ark to get us all out of here.
You would leave with the Surgeborn running loose. Or worse, allow them to spread and wreak havoc across the Maida in your wake.
No one has succeeded in stopping them yet. We've been trapped inside the Enclave for decades. It's time to set ourselves free before the Surgeborn overtake Cassidon's Hold and kill us all.
Is shoving problems under the rug truly the Enclave's legacy? Because it's a pattern at this point.
Agreed. Your people are better than this.
The Surgeborn has infiltrated our scry. It's learning how to use our enchantments against us. If we don't put a stop to this madness, how long until they overtake the Arcs? Or bring down the Veil and spread across the Maida?
That is concerning. Still, let's be clear. Even if you could reach the source, there's a massive Surgeborn that almost killed you lurking down there.
I'll be ready for the Herald this time.
And what are you going to do about all the tangles? Punch them before they disintegrate you?
We will leverage the aeroliths to control miasma at the source. We think this will clear a path so that I can escort the Ark.
Interesting. You've put more thought into this than I'd expected. But, as you've said, you have no way to reach the source.
Fine. Our plan has a few kinks to iron out.
More than a few.
How about this? If you can just give us time to present you with the final plan, it'll be your call whether or not we move forward on it.
I suppose that's fair. I can't pack up this stronghold in a day.
One more thing. It's clear by now the Enclave hides its secrets well. If there's any information on the source, I need access to it.
There are private records that can only be accessed with the Eye's signet. I suppose he's not using it at the moment, but...
Brynn did just save your people from certain death not too long ago.
Fine. You can borrow it. You should find information at the Spire in Upper Denevron, the Bastion, and the Institute.
We'll arrange a meeting with you when we're ready.
Good luck.
You certainly wear emergency powers of authority.
Council records are meant to be public. Wonder what else the Eye was hiding from his people. Records on the construction and maintenance of grand gates across the Enclave.
My. That's the Eye's signet. Did you know it can reveal the Enclave's secrets? Not that I needed it to pry into the Eye's darker truths. Let me guess. You're trying to find another way to reach the source. I'm all for it. We'll be able to speak more easily there.
Ugh, I'm sick of your voice already.
Such impoliteness is unbecoming of you. Didn't your parents raise you to be a nice, respectful girl? I gathered from how the Eye spoke of his own. So the core values your kind instilled
should be close to the junction now. Dissolution chamber. The machinery in here looks complex, perhaps a part of the tapestry.
That turned easily enough. Creaked a little, but seems stable now.
Perfect.
Certainly easier than loom gate repair.
If we could have stopped the flow with a tool like this, the Hollow's loom gate would have been trivial.
That should have cleared the Norian worker site.
Only one way to find out. Expedition to the source shortly after the surge. Enchanters to suffer severe damage to the coral. All who participated in the expedition were sworn to secrecy by the eye and power at the time. Last time we went looking for answers in the Bastion. Half the documents were torn to shreds. What else were they hiding behind the Eye's signet? Looks like research that's been compiled on the ecological and geographic impact of the surge across the Enclave's landscape. There's an entire section on the widening of the Great Chasm.
A delicate tool for precision work. Wield it well. Not too heavy, not too light.
Hope you're not afraid of diving into bottomless pits.
Hardly. Maybe a little. Why?
Despite the Grand Gates no longer functioning, there is a more direct way to reach the source. By dropping straight down into a rift in Lower Denevron.
You know, last time I wanted to charge into a restricted area, you weren't so sure it was a great idea.
People change. Maybe I've learned a thing or two about calculated risk-taking from you. And the prospect of securing the source makes this a risk worth taking.
With this knowledge and Sev's plan to control the miasma with the aeroliths, I'll get Aurea to call a meeting with the Axle.
Perfect.
All right, everyone. Let's give Khan Atame the rundown.
Using the aerolifts, I can trigger a miasma everywhere they affect above ground.
It is advised that your people remain indoors during this process.
The miasma will flow from the source, which will lessen the raw magic enough to keep Brynn safe while she escorts the Ark.
And how is she going to get there without the Grand Gate?
She'll drop in through the rift in Lower Denevron.
Skies, of course she will.
Don't worry. I've got plenty of experience scaling down cliffs.
Once she's in the underworks, she'll stay within the Ark's protective field and follow it to the source where it will fulfill its purpose, to pacify the Tangles.
And what about the Herald?
That's where you're going to need to trust me.
You really think you can do this?
When I doubt my own abilities, I just look to my band. Kaz is prepared for plans A through Z. Dharm and Sola have me armed to the teeth. Aurea is going to guide me through thick and thin. Lane knows more about the Enclave than the people still living in it. Arik has brought us into your world, and Sev can control the freaking weather. How can I fail?
So? What do you say?
Kenrick lied to us for decades. It's hard to believe anyone who says they're going to take care of the Surgeborn now. But with how open you've been, and everything you've done for us already, you've earned my trust. We will stay and fight for our hearth.
Thank you.
Brynn, I'll coordinate with Sev. When you're ready, come see me.